Welcome everybody to another episode of the Belvista Studios Show. My special guest today really excites me. Nicole, I just want to recognize you. There's two particular things that stand out for me. One is your passion. And I just love your passion for curiosity and investing in yourself. And I think that passion really comes through. You quite often share little examples of things that you're working on, literally a screenshot or a 30-second video. And I think that passion really comes through in that, and that just serves your learners so much better. So that's one thing I want to commend you on. And the other thing is just your curiosity to learn, because I want everyone to know today that what you see is purely driven by your intrinsic motivation. You see something somewhere by the fabulous people out on LinkedIn and YouTube sharing stuff. And as soon as something is you're like, oh my God, that's cool, you're straight away breaking it down and trying to make it for yourself and put it into your solutions. And I think that's really incredible, because not everyone takes action on it. But I swear, even in our Facebook group, something will go up, someone will share an example, and then the next that week you've literally been this is how I've interpreted it, and this is what I've created as a result. So I just want to really recognize you for being motivated to experiment, because the world is a better place. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, what an intro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, just driven to be curious, think outside the box, and don't be afraid to make some mistakes and push and see how far I can take my own skills. And if anyone would like to learn along the journey, then, jump on board, free ticket, happy days.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, yeah, so the purpose of the Belvista Studio Show is a place for us to meet with people like Nicole that are really inspiring us with how they're breaking tools or designing things in the e-learning space. And it's an opportunity for us to be curious and share these examples with the people that watch these videos, and also really be curious about how did you specifically make it, what tool did you use, where did the inspiration come from. So I will hand over to you, Nicole, share your screen, take us through whatever amazing things you're going to share today.
Cool. Thank you very much. So the course that I'm currently working on at the moment is around traffic management. I work for the Victorian State Government in emergency service sector for the volunteer group being the state, or the VIC-SES, Victoria State Emergency Service. So it's around traffic management for any sort of operations that our volunteers and members need to coordinate in terms of traffic. What does that look like? How do you do it? All that sort of thing. So doing this in a RISE course, and sometimes footage and photos can be difficult to get. So I fall back on graphic design background to actually capture that image that I see in my head, or I might have seen in another photo or something similar. So let's see if I can be working with Zoom here and share my screen.
Cool.
Give it a whirl. You should see Articulate Rise now.
It is loading, and yes, I can see Articulate Rise.
Fantastic. So I'll immediately go into the directing traffic course that I'm currently working on. And I suppose just a very quick, brief background about the inspiration for this course. As you said in the intro, Kim, I belong to the Belvista Studios Facebook group, and Hannah Grennan, part of your team, showcased a piece of work from the United Kingdom. Was it Royal Mail?
Oh yeah.
They had some e-learning there, and the e-learning course from the UK Mail, I think it was created in Evolve or Adapt, or one of those. I was thinking, gee, that looks really cool. How can I do that in RISE? So that's essentially what I've done here. Is I was inspired by that piece of work. So let's go into the first module first of all. Would you like to see it as a preview, or should we just go in as developer mode, do you think, Kim?
Let's go preview.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
No problem. So preview here. Basic information around the course. And we'll go straight in and we'll start. And for the true effect of the course, I'll just scroll down.
Yeah, nice.
Different elements appear. Traffic management theme. And then we come down into some bits and bobs around the course. Why are you here, for example? A bit further down, I've got this squiggly line, just sort of help guide the eye down the screen a little bit and sort of connect.
Love that.
Down a little bit further, who you are. And here we've got a little bit of GIF animation, just to bring a bit of movement and color to the screen. And I really like working with GIFs because in a way they give the same sort of effect as a video, but they're far lighter. Is that the technical word? They don't take meg of space on your server or for your learner to download or anything like that. And just a little further, the prereqs for the course. And a little further down, what's next? What do you need to do navigation wise, and how long the course will be? A bit of housekeeping around the course and that sort of thing. So yeah, to try and get this effect, I really did have a little bit of really take Rise out for a drive and just see what it could and couldn't do. And also just using the different image widths that you can within Rise as well, trying to navigate that and find that sort of sweet spot for what's required there. So I'll just go into edit mode, or would you like to have a little further look at the course?
Well, can I ask some questions before you get on? I have like such a big smile seeing this. So I just want to let people know, I reckon it was less than 6 months ago that we had a conversation. You were like, what is the point? Not what's the point in Rise, but you didn't have much faith in it and like what you were doing in it and what a lot of people are doing it. But just seeing this, which we're going to get into the specifics of now, just proves like the results you can get by doing the experiments. Like you really made a beautiful design in Rise. So I think that's really cool when you were a little bit disheartened about the tool only a few months ago.
Yeah, certainly come around. Always love and respected Rise, but was just felt a little challenged by what I felt couldn't be done. But then it was just a matter of just putting the curiosity cap on and just saying, well, okay, let's really take this out for a long walk and just see what surprises it might have. And yeah, as I said, I've always loved Rise, but my love for Rise has just gone to a next level now because what you're seeing here on screen. Yeah, cool.
With your GIFs that are on screen at the moment, what tool do you create them in?
It's like a 4-step journey. The graphics are created in Adobe Illustrator. Then I will put the graphics into Adobe After Effects to give that animation. And then that animation will leave After Effects as an MP4, which is a little video. And then that MP4 will go through Adobe Photoshop, which does have a little bit of media capability. It's not only just tweaking photos, but you can do video management in it as well. And there is a setting in Photoshop where you can push it out as a GIF. Yeah. So is that 4 steps or 3 steps? But yeah, there's a few steps to it, but please, I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed about it. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that actually step you through what I've just spoken about. And a shout out to Melissa Milloway from the United States. She's got a really great video around creating GIFs and using Photoshop to create that GIF. And then her YouTube tutorial goes on to putting it into Articulate Storyline. But it's the same process for Rise as well. I prefer using Adobe After Effects because I feel like I'm a little more in control of when things do and do not happen. But you can certainly create GIFs in Photoshop, I think Canva, I think even Vimeo, which is the video streaming service. You can also create GIFs in there as well. So there's a whole different packages that you can do or use to create these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I would recommend people check out whatever tool they're kind of editing photos, not photos, but this kind of illustration stuff, and to see, can you export as a GIF? Because one we use is Canva. It's really easy to be able to do GIFs in there, and for non-designers, I'd say. And another thing that we're using is Beyond, the animation tool. We export like the animations as GIFs as well. And that's our quick way, rather than using one tool to tool to tool.
Mm.
We're just exporting directly from those two particular. But as you said, there's heaps of stuff on YouTube to figure out how to export GIFs and make a GIF. And a GIF is essentially small file size, as Nicole said, and it allows this movement. So it's a bit of dynamicness to the screen as opposed to just having static images.
Absolutely.
All right. Can you scroll down for a second? I just want to
Yes.
point out one thing that you've done I feel is really effective. This what's next. So I just want to point out like the use of kind of visual triggers in your text, using the bold, using the italics and the normal text. That visual hierarchy is really useful on a skim level for learners to kind of figure out what's important to me, what do I need to know. So just wanted to point that out for people. And while you're on screen there, we are going to go back up to the top because that is the most gorgeous thing and I really want to break it down. But before you get there, the little squiggle, because how did you get that? What are the blocks that you've used to get the squiggle and this text thing to take that learner on a visual journey?
It's a center image. And then center image in Illustrator, push it out as a PNG and then bring it into Rise as a centered image, and then use the crop tool once it's in and just bring that crop down, just so it's like this. It's not like that, if that makes sense, just to trim it down effectively. I've also been testing this on iPhones and iPads through our learning management system as well. So everything seems really happy. So I'm really, feel good about that the learning management system is happy with this, and it seems to be okay across browsers as well. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Really great about that.
Have you found the ideal size for those centered images to export them as?
Yes, I have, and I can't take credit for that. A mutual friend of ours, Amanda Nugent, who is an amazing learning experience designer. Hi, Amanda, if you're watching, big fan. She shared that knowledge with me. I've got it written down somewhere here. It's 1336 by 768 or something like that. But when we jump into Adobe Illustrator, if you've got time, we'll actually see those file sizes there, or image size there. So yeah, that seems to be the really great spot for that image size. Yeah,
that's cool, because I know a lot of people are asking and we're not getting straight answers anywhere.
Right.
All right, scroll back up. Let's see the beauty that everyone's probably like fast forwarded to get to this part. But we want to know how you've made your clouds, how you've made the whole scene.
Not a problem. So up to the top we go. So again, pretty much centered image, and there's one full screen. And again, cropping those images down has been my friend. So if I just scroll down a little bit, the clouds, they're their own image and they are cropped down. This heading, I haven't used quotes or anything like that. What I found worked well was using just text heading for that to give me that bold statement there. This blue space between the heading and the helicopter, that is just a paragraph text, but I've removed all text from it and just continued on with that same blue sky, just to give me a bit of space. So as you scroll down the screen, there is that little bit of surprise and delight that things do appear, and it's sort of a story, it's kind of a story evolving in front of you, I guess.
Definitely.
The helicopter and the clouds, again, they are a centered image. And then below here with the trees and the trucks and the cars, and I think also from memory these clouds as well, they're a full width image. And the full width image size that I've been using is essentially like a video, 1920 by 1080, which is pretty big. And I have found, for what I've been doing, I've just had to crop down just the top just a little bit. But I've always just been previewing and checking just to make sure that I haven't cropped off too much and I haven't lost any images, any bottom of the image or top of the image or anything like that. So
yeah, nice. Would you mind just going into the edit version so people can see the blocks, how you've just explained that?
Absolutely.
Please.
So in we go. So
Yeah, nice.
if I hover here, image centered, the subheading, paragraph, image centered again. You can see okay, Kim?
Yeah,
Yeah.
following, this is brilliant.
Full width image, again at that 1920, 1080. I'm not very good at video and all that sort of stuff, so I did have to do a bit of internet research because when I was going on forums and tutorials, they were talking about 16.9, and I really didn't know what that meant, but I found by fluke that I think it's 1920 by 1080.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Thank you.
Most welcome.
It's gorgeous.
Most welcome. Yeah. And again, all these pictures that you see here, they were created in Adobe Illustrator. I can't take credit for all the images. Some of them, for example, the sort of pinky car on the top right-hand corner there, that was from FreePic. But all the other bits and bobs come through Adobe Illustrator here at home. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'd say you're blowing some minds already.
I hope so. See. And this guy here, it is a, gee, what is it? It says tab. But effectively, you know, with your tabs, you can have tabs across the top. What my chunks of information are actually just a single tab at a time. And so I'll go ahead and edit that. And you see this this dot here, this line, this is obviously the orange line in the screen. I've used different size fonts here and used bold and also italicized just to make those key pieces of information pop. And the image, the car and the sign and all that sort of stuff, that is another centered image width of 1336 by something. And then again, it was just cropping it down and just testing along the way to make sure that I didn't take the top of the car off or the bottom of the road away, that sort of stuff.
Very cool. I love how you've even done the dotted line like that. Like you're not taking the blocks in Rise for what they are. You're kind of seeing what can you do within it. And that's just cool to see that is what normally people would click as a tab. And you've just gone, no, it's one, but it'll allow me to put a little visual design of the line, still have it's containing what you need really nicely on the screen. Good job. Good thinking.
The only sort of thing that I would say, just using a single tab like this, just above the orange line and other tabs that I've used, there is white space there. And I've just, it is what it is. I mean, you know, a little bit of white space doesn't hurt, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, just being curious and being flexible and seeing what works and what doesn't. And the feedback that I've gotten from colleagues around this course so far, no one's come back to me and said, hey, why is there an extra bit of white space up the top? So obviously the visual and the content's super engaging for them, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
And the dotted line here, again, it's another centered image. And why don't we go and have a little edit of that? And I think if I come into the edit button there and crop, you can see the gray area up there. That's what was cropped off, and you can't see the dotted line there. Obviously it's white, but coming, if I close here and coming back over to the content, no settings, sorry, this color here, this sort of deep blue metal gray that I've used, obviously it made the white dots pop. So a lot of the stuff that I've used, well, what I have used for these dotted line sort of sections is a transparent background. So that means that, you know, I can play around with the background in Rise rather than having to worry about the background color in Illustrator. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
any other things? Oh, yes, moving down the page. The GIFs here are a 3-column grid, and essentially what I did through through Illustrator was create circles using a clipping mask rather than having squares. And then from there, they went into circles to After Effects. So they followed the circle effect all the way through. Yeah, and here we are. So I think it looks sort of a point of difference as well, having circle images and circle GIFs rather than just, your pretty standard squares that you see a lot of people do.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Thank you. Would you like to see another chapter?
Yeah, I think skim through quickly, and if I see anything that I want to know how you've done it that will help others, I'll shout out.
Not a problem.
I love the clouds. I love the 3D, like even the background. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So this guy up here, this full width, yeah, I've got a little bit of a gradient there, again, just to help the eye move down the screen and be a little more realistic. And at this particular shot or image, we're looking at it from side on. So grass would be the main feature as you walk away or walk towards. So now we've got a green background just to keep that story going, that color theme coming through.
Yeah.
As I said, the course is still in development, so I'm still working my way through illustration and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, cute.
And this particular area talks about the equipment that you would use. So just making our way down through here. To help with the workflow as well, I've been using what's it called? Templates, block templates in Rise itself. So when I found that these tabs were working well with what I was trying to achieve, then I just made sure that I got my tab template the way that I wanted to. And then from there, it was just bring it in, and then I could just bring the content and the image in. So I wasn't rearranging the tab or removing items from the tab each time, which was a really great speed up.
That's really cool. Would you mind jumping in and just showing people where to find that, please? I feel like that's it's like master slides and articulate storyline. We forget about it, but it really helps with efficiency.
Not a problem. So I just click on the plus button anywhere. And then from here in your spine, you'll see block templates. So from there, I would choose whatever I'm wanting and then click, and then it would bring it in. Or if I wanted to create a new template, then I would click new block template, and then I would choose here, and that would become the block template. And then next time I came back in to bring something in from block templates, it would be sitting there waiting for me. So it's really quick and really makes the workflow a lot better, a lot faster. So the people at Articulate Rise really gave that some thought. So I really appreciate and respect that. And also the nice thing about this as well is when you create a new block template, you can share it amongst other team members in your working group or other people who work alongside you, which is a great thing as well. So assists with their workflow as well.
Very cool. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Mind blown number 100 for today's episode so far.
I will move over to another chapter now.
Show us anything that you're like particularly proud of. You don't have to go through the whole course, because I know you want to show us dev files and stuff.
Not a problem. I'm kind of pleased with this particular image. This
Very
one
cool.
talks about distracted drivers, and I wanted to give the perspective of the driver, because so far in other parts of the course it gives the perspective of the traffic manager. So I'm trying to so our learners will see both sides of the coin, and I felt that this kind of graphic sort of lent itself to the fact that, you know, someone is doing 160k and they're on their mobile phone and they're about to come into an emergency situation. So then from scrolling down again, we keep on with this same theme. And as you can see, it's still a work in progress and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really effective, that first person view. I agree.
Absolutely. And there are some other bits and bobs that I could quickly show you. I'll just show you the last and final one. Oh yeah, it was in key knowledge anyway. Sorry to bounce you around.
No, okay.
This particular little graphic as well. This is using the, what's that called, Kim? Yeah. I use Rise every day and I've forgotten, but yeah. I went on quite a hunt trying to find different assets and screen resolution or resolution of photos and pixelation and all that sort of stuff. So in this instance, decided to go with graphics just to keep the theme of the graphic already, but also because sometimes assets are a little difficult to get my hands on. So, you know, creating them from scratch is a bit of a go-to for me. So yeah. Okay.
Very cool.
Okay. Let's have a look at Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exciting.
Hopefully my Zoom, you see Adobe Illustrator there?
No, I'm still looking at Rise at the moment.
Okay. All right then.
Now we're looking at Illustrator.
Now we're looking at Illustrator. Yeah. And you can see at the top there of this particular graphic, centered images I've been using 1336 by 768. So
amazing, Nicole, and thank you, Amanda. The internet will be very grateful.
Shout out to Amanda. Yeah, really great, really helpful. Just some other different graphics here that I think we saw them a moment ago in the Rise course, but again, I've been sticking to that 768 height and then crop down as needed. So I do give myself a little bit of space here just in case I need all that sort of stuff. More graphics, again, another centered image, more graphics again, well, that's what we just saw a moment ago when we were looking at that little sparkles where you can click and get more information or watch videos or listen to audio and all those other amazing things.
Yeah. Labeled graphic, I believe that's what it's called.
Thank you.
I'll just point out as well to people the significance of this 1336 by 768 is what Nicole has here is that size, and you can see where she's placed it on her canvas, the different images. And the reason this kind of number is so important is because when you put it into Rise and use it across the different devices, even if you preview it, you can lose important aspects of your image. That's why it's important to start with that bigger canvas, because it's more likely to include the parts of the image that you actually want displayed through Rise. So when you do create images, recommend using that size, pop it into Rise, and then go over to the top right where it has check it on tablet, check it on mobile phone, to make sure that you're not losing things such as Nicole's dotted line. Sometimes I know we've had issues where we've done something similar and it like crops off like half of the face, or like you can't see the face of something. So that's the starting point so that you don't have frustration through cropping life.
Yeah. Thank you again to Amanda. She's getting a good wrap this particular session. Yeah, saved me hours. So I'm forever grateful to her for sharing that piece of information. Okay, so I will, let's have a new share. And let's have a look at Adobe After Effects.
Cool.
So you should see Adobe After Effects there now, Kim, the traffic hazard sign.
We can, yep.
So I'll just go ahead and, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, in Illustrator, for people that are not familiar with these kinds of tools, that's more like creating your illustration and setting up your scenes, which then you would export into something like Adobe After Effects. So this image that Nicole created in Illustrator is being brought in here, and the After Effects is where she can add movement, which she's about to take us through now.
Absolutely. So actually, I have to go back on what I said before. It looks like I've actually brought in see that that grey around the edge. I've obviously brought it in as a square. But
You lied to us.
Yeah,
You're
sorry
not
about
using
that.
all transparent images.
My bad. I might have been just down to time or something like that, or a bit of a boo-boo along the workflow. But yeah, the gunmetal grey here would have been replicated in the behind the scenes and rise for that three image gallery. So yeah, pretty quick, pretty easy. So what I really love about animation and flat graphic or motion graphics, like this kind of thing, is just something really simple, moving, just lifts it, I think, to a whole other new level of engagement and all that sort of stuff. So if anyone is interested in Adobe After Effects, I would highly recommend that they give it a try. I don't hold any kind of qualification or didn't go to any sort of animation school or anything like that. It was through YouTube videos, or alternatively, I'm in the throes now of doing a Domestika course around animation, and they've just recently had their Black Friday sale, and they were doing some really fantastic courses for about 13 or 14 Australian dollars. So keep an eye on the Domestika website. They also always have some great sales and some great bundles. So so essentially here, let me set this up a little bit. I've got two pieces of fern, or so we'll just turn the small piece of grass off, fern off there. And essentially these keyframes, whenever the playhead hits a keyframe, it will do what that keyframe has got happening behind the scenes. And this piece of animation, I'm happy to share the YouTube link that I was able to learn this from. It literally was a 3-minute video from a chap in Holland. I think his YouTube channel is called Camp Keyframe, and he has some really great stuff there as well. So shout out to him if he's watching. And essentially, there is a piece of software that already sits inside the Adobe After Effects suite. And I'm highlighting on the screen here, if you can see my mouse sort of moving around. It's called CC Bendit. So there is no extra plugin, no extra money or anything like that. It's just a matter of activating that template or plugin that is already in the system, and just literally dragging it onto the piece that you wish to animate. And then with a little bit of setup of saying, this is the top part of where I want to bend, and this is the bottom part. And then just moving the playhead along. And then you can see the bend there. You can change the properties or change the number. So depending on what that number is, will make it bend. And then by bringing in the same piece of grass, but making it a little bit smaller, and with its keyframes, just jumping around a bit there. You see their keyframes are just a little bit behind the larger piece of grass, just so it gives that, well, the taller piece is going to bend before the smaller piece, and sort of naturally. So I did have a cup of coffee outside the other day and watched a little bush in my garden sort of move a bit to get a bit of an idea of how it behaves. Yeah, it's a bit of nature inspiration as well. So once this was created, and it's only like a 7-second or 14-second piece, went ahead and pushed it out as an MP4, which is movie. And then from there, I'll go and do some more sharing. I'll now take us to Adobe Photoshop. And from Adobe Photoshop, you can see down here, there's the timeline, as I was rabbiting on before. Photoshop, it's not my strongest tool in the toolbox for me, but I'm always learning about it. It also can do, and I see some really great people. There's an incredible animator who lives in Switzerland. His name is Olaf Storm, and he does all his animation movies using Photoshop. So Photoshop really does have quite a really great animation aspect to it. So it's just a matter of, I said, bringing this MP4 into Adobe Photoshop, and the timeline will open for you. And then from there, it's a matter of going File and Export, Save for Web Legacy. And then from there, look, that looks a little off. I'll just fix that up. Don't mind me. Talk amongst yourselves. make that a little.
How are you today, Kim? I'm great. How are you, Kim?
Yeah, just to make that a little better. Oh, I won't muck around. But from there, you can see we've got some GIF presets. And again, there's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube that people talk about their favorite GIF presets, but I've pretty much got what I feel works well for me. I guess the one tip I would say, the colors. I'm using 256 colors on this particular GIF because the sky has quite a gradient to it. But if it was a flat solid color, then I could make the drop that down to maybe even 16 or 8. And what that means, then the file size gets a bit smaller, so the load time, so etc, etc. And then from there, it's just a matter of hitting the save button, and then it will ask you where you want to save your GIF to. And that is essentially it. The other thing that I would quickly say as well, I typically have my GIFs loop forever, but you can have it once or just a minute. Depends on the impact that you want to have and what you've got going on at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you're on that screen, I'll just point out, I think that's a good thing for people that don't use GIFs. Traditionally, they will play over and over and over. So the last scene should match the first scene for that looping to be a smooth effect. So you'll find that out the hard way, but that's just a thing to figure out. And while you're on there, going back to the colors, the 256 means that it's trying to throw a lot of colors in. And when you don't have a gradient, you can reduce it to something like 8. And that means it's just going to pick, instead of from 256, it's just going to pick 8. Would you mind, I'll just get people to pay attention to the sky. They can see a little tiny bit of dark blue, medium blue, and light blue. Would you mind just putting it to a PNG so they can see the difference in that drop down? So if we go PNG 24, you'll see now that it's smoothed out that blue, and that's just the difference between how colors work and file sizes come out. So if you are using if you want something to be like a higher quality polished thing, a GIF is probably not the best. PNG will give you better quality image. But yeah, that's just showing you the difference between how you export as well to pay attention to. Yeah. Nice one. This 100%. Is cool. Everything that you've shared there as well, like we're not like really trained in all this stuff as well, but YouTube is fantastic. So you literally can be like, how do I export a GIF? How do I pick my colors for my GIFs? And those, as you said, they're as quick as 1 minute, 3-minute videos on YouTube that will really help you here.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of just-in-time training there, which is really great. So you don't have to sit through an hour or even a 5-week course. You can just come and go and get exactly what you need at that time. Yeah. So, yeah, really super exciting. So looking forward to continuing developing the course, and was out in the field last week and was doing some video filming as well. So looking forward to getting that put into the course as well. And also some audio snippets from experienced people who have had years of traffic management experience, just getting their voice to mentor those that might be starting out for the first time in doing traffic management as well. So really just continuing to build and layer upon layer on the course as well, and keep it moving that way. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I know I've seen like before you've shown me like a comic book style image with the audio file underneath, or actually you did it as a video. So MP4, it was just an image, a static image, but your audio kind of podcast style played over it. That was a really lovely intro or a way to deliver content. And I'm wondering, how do you decide what information should be something like a video, an audio clip, an image, static text? How do you decide?
That's a really great question. It can be any number of factors. It can be time. It can be something that happened to me not long ago. I actually did a piece to camera. So I was going to have someone speaking to the camera, but we had a green screen and there was flaring and the video quality was just not there. So what I did was put the piece through Adobe Premiere Pro and just isolate the audio. And then, okay, I've got something that I can use here. So from there, I had a still shot of that expert's face, and through Adobe After Effects, I think I used I can never pronounce it correctly, but an audio wave that peaked and went up and down as that person spoke.
Yes.
So there was still some visual engagement, even though the video itself didn't work out. So sometimes these things happen by pure accident. Sometimes I might be watching TV and I think, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. Wonder if I can do that in an e-learning course. And sometimes the idea that you start off with is not exactly how it turns out, but it's just a matter of being curious and being open to, if this is not going to work, then how can it some other way? So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, it swings and roundabouts, I guess, at the end of the day. But sometimes, like, with this video piece and with the flaring of the video and it didn't work, that was an absolute godsend, because another really nice idea came out of that, and it helped sort of that out of the box thinking and keeping engagement, but still not having to go and re-record again. I mean, we could still make something out of what we had. Yeah,
that's cool. Even something like Zoom I find is quite useful, because Zoom will record or document what happens, the video, and you can have the screen share, you can have the gallery view, you can have one speaker, but you can also just get the audio file, so it exports it all for you and can pick what you need. So I think and the quality is good enough, like the content is what's most important, so people are forgiving if the quality is not like Hollywood standard. But even just using these little headphones that come with your phone and recording on a regular PC is good enough to do those kinds of corporate solutions as well.
Absolutely. And even here in Melbourne during the height of COVID, we were still creating training, but there was no face-to-face opportunity. So a lot of the training some of the training that we're creating was grabbing people's audio bites from the telephone. And so let's be transparent, this was a telephone recording, so let's have an image of a photo of a phone next to that person's image, just to say, well, and you often see it on on news broadcasts as well. If they get an audio bite from someone over the phone, you'll still see a picture of a phone. So it's just about being transparent and being adaptable.
Yeah, very cool. Well, this has been really fantastic. I love that you're getting inspiration out there, and whether it's you're watching something at home or you're actually seeking something from the industry, whether it's L&D or e-learning or graphic design, visual design, and then this is what comes out of it is through your experimentation. I think it sounds like your stakeholders and the people that are taking your courses really love it, so it's definitely worth it, which is really cool. Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't encourage people more to think about having a look at After Effects, just seeing what it can do for you. I highly recommend it. Yeah. 2 questions. One is going on this still experimentation. Well, I think what you're good at is not being afraid to put your work out there when it's a work in progress and testing it and just getting feedback. What would you say to other people? What is the benefit of doing that for you as a practitioner? And what would you say to other people that may be afraid to do that?
I guess it's just years of experience now that's through trial and error, and just knowing that if it means half a day of doing some testing, then I think, and it's proven to be a good investment of time, because there's nothing worse than what you think is really great work and then putting it out there only to find it didn't work as you expected it to, especially with the Victorian State Emergency Service that I'm with. We have volunteers and members in the 4 corners of the state, and with varying internet speeds, varying devices, personal devices as well. So putting yourself in the shoes of your learner and trying to, and what is it that they will be experiencing, actually put yourself on the other side of the screen and get an understanding of what they will see and think, and actually picking up the phone and asking them as well, what is it that worked for you, what didn't work, so that those user interviews of, yes, getting to know who your learners are, but also getting to know what their experience was like at the other end as well. So it was just years of experience. I mean, I've had some really great ideas, and I've gone and put it in the learning management system, and all there was a spinning circle, and it was just, learn the hard way. But again, it's just that maybe an hour or 2 hours of actually just testing it beforehand is the better way to go. I think it's because I've been in the industry a little bit. I've been burnt a few times. So if there was one piece of advice I could give anyone who's new to the industry or really wanting to stretch their legs, testing, if you are going to go down the out of the box sort of thinking, then testing's your friend.
Yeah, nice. And my last question is, so you've shared a few places where you are getting inspiration from. Is there any others that you just continuously find yourself going back to that you would recommend others check out?
Absolutely. Pinterest is a real go-to. Free pick, just seeing what's there and being inspired from there. Being here in Melbourne, even just tram stops, they're a really great thing because they have some really great posters. And just in the last 12 months, I think what's personally lifted what I do is I'm really curious about user experience designers and user interface designers. And there's some really great people that I've started following on Instagram that have helped lift my thinking about text on screen, image placement, all that sort of stuff. So if there is any user experience designers out there that you come across, I would recommend checking them out and following them, because there's a lot to learn, I think, from that space as well. And a lot of people now, you see younger people coming into our industry who are mindful of that user experience and that user interface as well. So because I'm just sort of showing my age here, because I've been in the industry a while, it's something that I've had to learn along the way. It's not something that came to me as coming through as a digital native, as they call them. Yeah,
that's really cool. Very cool. Well, I think this has been a fantastic episode to inspire people, because what you're seeing is, like I've said, you're experimenting, but you're also experimenting within a government department. So I really think that is just showing what's possible to push the limits with what we create in the e-learning space, to be able to do, like, people do put that up as a barrier and say, I work in a old school work environment, or we do this the way we've always done it, and you're just doing it in a government department. So it just really paints the picture for what is possible, and that if you just start doing it with little things along the way, people want more and more of that. And I think you're a true testament to leading the way in that. So well done. Thank you so much for making the time to share. It was really, really brilliant. And I encourage everyone to go give some love to Nicole. Her LinkedIn will be in the description, or as well as her Instagram account, but check it out, because I think she deserves some love for all the effort that she's put in and for the sharing today.
Thank you. Thanks, Kim.
All good. Thanks everyone for watching the Belvista Studios Show. Please share this with anyone that it will add value to. But I really, really would love to see what you create as a result of being inspired, what you take action on as a result from this show, and share it with Nicole and us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Have an awesome day.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you, thank you, thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating and the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.